line 544. What's at line 544? 4 lines up. Nope, 545. Okay, so this is a thing. I think I'm messing up a little bit. Oh no, right, okay. No, this is correct. So when I make an iterator, I actually, yeah, well, it's a little messed up. In this case, it should be the type of b.rows, but I'm saying it's of indeterminate type because the thing on the left is of indeterminate type. So let me put that in the to-do list. Iterators need to be smarter about what type they are. For example, the type of b.rows probably, but instead it uses the 0 literal. All right. So this is, sometimes you find a lot of little things like this, got to go back and fix it. So if you ever wondered why I only do like one demo a month of new features, it's because there's always a lot of little things like this that need to be correct. Or they don't always need to be correct, but the more developed the language becomes and the more sophisticated the programs are that I'm writing in it, the less good it is to keep sweeping things like that under the rug. Like when I originally wrote this, I was like, that's going to be complicated. I'll just kind of punt on it. But you can only punt for so long, and eventually you've got to do the right thing. Okay. All right, one problem at a time. Given that this I need to understand, given that it is taking this branch, what the problem is. So we should have swapped this, right? Wanted number size is now 32. Given number size is 16. So the swap worked. That part's fine. Oh. You know what? Okay. It doesn't matter because if we take this branch, we call number check and solidify bidirectionally anyway. In the case of number literals, which needs to work. All right, so basically what happens here is this is a time when I go to bed and sleep on whether I want to just clean up all this solidify stuff completely or incrementally modify it. Basically, this strategy that I'm doing here isn't really going to work. But this whole idea of solidifying is not really necessary anyway. Like, solidify right now is where I go into a node that exists, that's some constant, and I modify it by putting in some flags about what I've deduced about what type it needs to be in order to type check correctly with everybody around it. The problem with that is, if you're modifying something, then somebody else who has a pointer to it, might not. It's a standard issue with modifying data, right? Like somebody who has a pointer to it might have wanted the pointer to the old thing, and then you modified it out from under them. I'm not sure if that's actually a problem right now. So I'm not sure if I want to code around that and make that not happen. One way to make it not happen is to never go back and modify the thing to solidify. Instead, you could insert a cast, just like I'm talking about doing with this other stuff. And then the cast logic gets a little more complicated because there's a lot more cases where you're not actually doing anything, right? Like if you cast from something that is unsolidified to like 32-bit signed integer, that doesn't represent any code that should run. That's just like, oh, we decided this should be a signed 32-bit integer. So I need to think about that and how best to do that. But it's been a mildly productive night. Got a few things done. We're a little further. By the time I get this fixed, there's still going to be a couple more free type errors left, but we're most of the way through that. Thanks, everybody. I'll do a couple quick questions if there's any more. Oh, Casey's back. Hello, Casey. I totally solved the variable today. It was awesome. You wouldn't believe it. But yeah, the problem, people are talking in chat about the int definition thing. To be clear, it's a C and C++ problem, right? I mean, I guess you have standard int.h now, but those names are really ugly and nobody likes to use them anyway. But if you have a language that has proper types built in from the beginning, people should use those, right? That's all I'm saying, and not define their own pseudonyms. Like, people are really bad at this stuff. Like Microsoft, like, defines, you know, back when they were super into Polish notation or Hungarian notation, sorry, they would define p whatever to be like pointer to that thing, and it's like, why are you doing that? That's so stupid. It's just Did I do marketing analysis for the witness? No. No. All right. Any final questions that are not about marketing analysis? Do we have any technical questions about compilers? How about that? Anyone have a compiler-related technical question? Yes, the compiler will be open sourced one day. Unless I get run over by a truck or my plane crashes or something. Do I plan on algebraic types? No. Do I plan on fancy pattern matching? Maybe. Probably not super fancy. But I haven't done switch statements yet, and switch statements are basically pattern matching, right? C-style is very primitive patterns, and you'd like to have a little bit more than that, but I honestly don't really know what the right switch statement is. It's not that big of a deal no matter what, but we sort of have to look at it and decide. Why does everyone ask about self-hosting compilers? Like, yes, but much later. You don't want to write a compiler in a language that doesn't work yet or that isn't defined yet. That's like silly, right? Far in the future, after the language is excellently designed, runs well, emits fast code, then I will get the hell off C++ and port the compiler to the new language. It doesn't make sense to do that until then. People get all excited about writing your compiler in its own language. It's just not that, it doesn't matter that much. The reason I would do it is just so I don't have to touch C++ anymore. That's it. Sorry if I'm too annoyed at that question, but people ask it all the time, and I'm like, why? Who cares? Who cares? Do I think I can make money with the compiler? Yes, I will make plenty of money with the compiler by being more efficient at the work that I do and more happy about the work that I do. The happiness is the more important part. And that'll lead me to get things done faster and be in a better mood, which will lead me to make lots of money building things that people pay for. I won't make any money off the language or the tools for the language because those will be given out. Someone's asking, why am I building this compiler? Watch the previous 375 videos in this series, and that will be answered. All right, it sounds like that's about all the compiler technical questions. So thanks everyone for coming along. I'm going to put this on YouTube again, as usual. Probably try to do that tomorrow because Twitch really doesn't like it if you try to mess with videos right after making them.